Hi everyone, it is Mickey here from A Pretty Talent in the Waterwell Ministries, and I am back with the third video of lesson 4 of the art journaling course. And in this one we are going to be making use of pastel pencils, soft pastel pencils. So I've got my warm colors and my cooler colors in two different trays, and that is essentially what we will be using. I need to get my little bucket for the sharpenings. Okay, now I have in the meantime decided that I want to add a couple of things. After doing the previous video without any references, I realized I'm literally throwing people in on the deep end of things. So here's what I am going to do. As soon as the materials arrive, I will post a video where I show you a little bit more about the techniques for acrylic painting. So we've got a print out for that. And then I have gone ahead and I've printed quite a few reference photos or reference pictures, if you like. Oh, that's just a misprint. That can be used in the creation of the artworks. Now, this is all about us going into the world. All of these is about our interaction with each other and with the world. And so my reference pictures are all about that. I also have the different brushes and how you use those brushes. So a couple of printouts on those. And why so many? Because honestly, I thought one wanted to be better than the other. You probably don't need all of them, but, well, yeah. Any case. And then I went, because the last lesson is going to be on using our dip pens, fountain pens with ink. I went in search of something that could serve as reference materials for that one. So you also have this one for references. I'm going to put this up it right at the bottom because that's really more for the inks. And then a little bit about working with ink and creating textures and things with ink, shading with ink. More printables that I've found online. And these are all going to be in our parcel. Now I will have to sort of show you what to do with those and how to incorporate them in the journal. But that's not today's lesson. That is for next time. For today, we are going to be working with the pastel pencils, and the passage that we are going to be working on is Acts 1 verse 14a. They all met together and were constantly united in prayer. They all met together and were constantly united in prayer. And you can now sort of go in search of any of these pictures and use them as a starting block for these meetings. And if these are not the ones that you want, if you have something completely different in mind, then of course you do something completely different. We're never restricted to only the ones that I provide. So, how do we go about this? I kind of think I like this lady here. She seems to have her hand up as if in prayer or praise. Now, I'm not too concerned with what she does with her legs here. I like the skirt here, well, the dress altogether, but I like the skirt because this seems to be, this is just where my head's going with this, covering people, like a prayer warrior would, cover people in prayer. So maybe I'll use this one. Now, our journal is arranged in landscape, which doesn't mean we're restricted to landscape. We can always turn our page around and do something else with it. Which just means that when I put this in the journal, I'll have to turn the journal when I come to this page. So do I want it in landscape or not? I think not. Let's see what we can do with this. Okay, so I'm going to start with, let me start with these. They're a little harder than the others. And I don't want to start with too accentuated, or do I? Oh, let me start with black, why not? She has a bit of an elongated neck, and I like that. I like her sort of odd features. Very elongated neck. And the shoulders don't do much. That arm is simply going up. It's coming in from here. And it's sort of disappearing into oblivion back there. This shoulder is going to come back here. And it's pretty much going to disappear into the folds of her dress as well. So, not overly concerned with where we want to go with that. Now this bodice, it's something like this. Why not? And then I'm just going to start this off. Okay, so what do we have here? She has a very accentuated mouth, as is befitting someone who is speaking in prayer. She doesn't have much in terms of facial features. She has some hair. It's coming something like this. Something like that. Do we want to give her an eye? I can if I want to. But I'm not going to go into too much detail there. So all I'm really doing when I'm talking through this is to sort of show you how I take someone else's picture and interpret it into lines that I can put on a paper. And it doesn't have to be exactly that, but it's sort of making sense of something that someone else had created. Now, after this, I'm going to go into more colors, and I'm using this one. This will be something that is more available, more readily available to everyone. Unlike the Derwent pastel pencils, which are humongously expensive, and I don't mind using them, it's why I bought them. But I figured, since I have these, let me use something that would literally be a little bit more available. Now, this original work of art was not done in pastels. I would be humongously surprised if it was. My interpretation of this is that it was done in watercolors. That's what I would assume was used there. But having said that, I'm not too worried, because I am going to, let's start with the red here. Oh, this point is very blunt. Your pastel pencils, need to be sharpened with a specific or a special sharpener, and they are really hard to come by, really hard to find in South Africa. So yeah, this is a Derwent pastel sharpener, pastel pencil sharpener, and it works better with the Derwent ones than with this one, but that's fine. Okay, so we are just going to start putting down color, and nothing monotone, nothing. I'm going to create blobs of color. Kind of liney, kind of as if these are the lines of the skirt, but certainly not restricting myself to that. Oh, the squeak, something terrible. And I'm going to come and draw some actual lines. In. I now need to take a work of art that was not created in this medium and make it friendly for the medium that I'm working in. So a little bit of orange. Add some more blobs of color. And you don't really don't want to overthink this kind of picture. Right, let's come in with a purple, a point on the purple. I have said this in previous videos, and I will say this again. I tend to put my pencils, whatever pencils they are, whatever medium they are, I put them away blunt. Because a point that has been sharpened is more likely to break off. This one keeps breaking. It doesn't like this sharpener. It's more likely to break off when it's sharpened and get damaged when it's sharpened than when it's blunt. And for that reason, I put them away blunt. I'm looking for another sharpener, and this one is very small. I normally have a few at hand, so let's see what I've got. I am throwing pencils around as if it's going out of fashion. Here's another sharpener. Okay. It's also small. It likes this sharpener better, but it's still breaking. Okay. Oh, honestly. What are you? Are your batteries flat, or are you just being difficult? seems to be the sharpener to use. Okay. Now I'm creating a bit of a shadow spot there. Now this pencil, it's not a happy pencil. I'm going to have to search for a sharpener that will work well with this one. But in the meantime, there's enough of a point for me to be able to do something with it. Might not be able to carry it through much further than this, but it'll go here. Now I do want these cooler colors here at the bottom. Right, and as you can see, it's already starting to take shape. So let's go for a green now. Now, I like the variety of colors here. Let me just get rid of this powder. The variety of colors kind of makes me think of someone who's praying for more than one person, more than one issue, more than one, you know, covering a baseline of prayers. A lot of topics, a lot of people. And there's a couple of things that I will lift out and point out to you as we go. So we like that. I like how the skirt is coming along. Might just sort of widen it here a bit. And then I want to come in with the blue. We haven't got a blue in here yet. Let's add a little bit of blue. And I will probably not add too much more than this. Now, there's no blending of the colors. You can if you want. I'm not going to. I do not mind the color of the paper showing through. I actually like that. And I think that is ample. So we can now go to some sort of fleshy color. And just fill in the colors on this little darling. Now here's what I liked. This upward pointing arm draws the attention. Strict rules with art, it draws the attention out of the picture. But we don't mind that because the attention is drawn up and along with this passage then drawn towards God. If I was to place that on the page, the attention then goes to God, and we're happy with that happening. I do want another color in here. On second thought, let me just finish this girl first. So I'm going to come in with a little bit of a darker shade here in the sort of shadow areas. Don't go overthinking this now. It's not that complicated. I want yellow. I miss yellow in this. Yeah, I do. I miss just a little bit of yellow. Oh, the yellow. Oh my goodness, I like the difference that adding yellow can make. Yep, that's good enough. Now, let's do something to kind of spotlight this a little bit, if you like. So I'm going to come in with a brown here on the edges. And now I'm not working blotchy anymore. Now I'm coloring a rather solid Don't put your hand down on your page. When you're working with soft pastels, you want to sort of maintain a lifted hand, because you will pull your hand right through your painting, and that's something you want to avoid. And what I'm kind of thinking of is the darkness fleeing when this girl starts praying. And she lifts her voice to the heavens. The darkness flees. And so I am trying to bring that idea into the painting. I actually thought I was going to work with the Durban pencils today, and last minute decided to not go with that. And I've honestly not worked extensively with these before. And they're nice, but they're not Derwents. There's something to say for that price tag. Okay, I need, and I didn't bring anything, so let me see if I can find a tissue in my pocket. I can, okay. I can find a tissue in my pocket, and that will do it for it. I want to blend this area of the painting. And only this area. I bought such nice blending brushes. Why didn't I bring those out? I did. No, I didn't. That's what the tissue looks like when I'm done. I think that will do it. I'm going to come in with a bit of white here. just sort of emanating from her. And can I just do this with my finger? When doing serious oil pastel paintings, I try to avoid the oiliness from the hands coming onto the page. But this is not serious, is it? This is just for our journals. So we're not going to take it too serious. I'm now using this white one as a bit of a blender for the rest. But I like what it has done to add a bit of brilliance to the page. I am going to leave it at that. I'm not going to develop this any further. I am going to sign it. Shame it's someone else's drawing. If that had an artist's signature, then I would sign this Mickey after whoever it was that had created the original. I'm not taking credit for someone else's work. I'm not attempting to take credit for someone else's work. Their creativity, their idea. I think that it's a brilliant little drawing or painting. But I do at the same time want to encourage you to start signing your work. And right from the start. Don't wait till you're good enough. Right from the start, learn to do that. I'm kind of thinking I don't necessarily like I'm trying to push the eyes back a little bit. And I'm going to leave it at that. Okay, and now all that's left to do is to spray this with hairspray or fixative. I'm going to use hairspray because honestly it works. This I think is going to go right there. I might turn it sideways. No, I think I like that. And what I haven't done and that I would like to do is to actually use a corner rounder on my corners. I don't know why I haven't rounded these. I think it's a bit of an oversight. That'll look a little bit nicer in the journal. But that's it. That's it for this little painting. And I'll see you in the next video where I can't remember what we work with. I'll get back to you. I think it's still pastels. But I'll get back to you and then we'll decide what we do in that one. So, till the next video. Cheers, guys.